Today we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of owner financing in the COVID-19 era. So stay tuned. I'm going to tell you how my business was affected when COVID hit. You're going to be surprised. My name is Mitch Stephen, and I've been investing in real estate for over 2 decades, and I've been owner financing about 70% of those properties. So when COVID hit, I was worried about what was going to happen. It was a whole new dilemma. It wasn't the same as a recession. It was completely different, and no one knew what to expect. But I'm going to tell you, it turned out just like I thought it might, and it wasn't as ugly as most people thought. One of the big differences in my strategy, the owner finance strategy or the seller finance strategy, is that the people inside my houses are not renters. They're owners. And they have a substantial commitment to this home, both financially and emotionally. You know, they might have given 10, 15, 20,000 down just to move in. And then they've made payments. But because it was their house, they might have added porches or concreted driveways or added pools or garden areas or landscape or put on a new roof or done any kind of things that tenants would just never do. When I was thinking about COVID-19 and people getting on the news, all the politicians and the governors saying, you know, we're not going to be able to evict anybody or foreclose anybody for 90 days because we're having to shut the courthouse down because we don't want our employees being in contact with each other because we don't want them to get COVID-19. At first, I thought, I wonder how this is going to go. But before we even got any reaction from our buyers, I guessed that we wouldn't have many problems at all. And I didn't even think we would have many callers. And I was right. Only about 8 people out of 300 called to see if they could get something free. They had interpreted the message from the governors that they didn't have to pay their mortgage for 90 days. I told them, well, you don't have to pay your mortgage for 90 days because there's nothing I can do about it. But as soon as they open the courthouse up, I will be down there and I will be looking for the 90 days that you didn't pay me and all the penalties. So I think I would make my payments if you like your house. Then other people that really had problems and who leveled with me and who I could verify the problem was true, I decided to work with them. 1, I thought it was the right thing to do. 2, it made perfect business sense. If someone was really struggling because their job got shut down and they needed time to find another job or to solve the issue, then I had agreed, instead of having to go out and find another buyer and having to do all this stuff, I agreed if they had been good payers and had been a non-problem client, then I agreed to just add the 3 payments to the back end of their note. We would rewrite the note and re-sign to give them 90 days of relief. But I didn't give them anything. I just moved the 90 days out. Even when I offered that, most of the people decided just to pay. One of them said, you know, I'm glad that you'll do that, and I know that you'll do that if I need it, but let me see if I can make it through without having to do all that. And they did. On the other hand, I have friends that have a lot of renters. Now, these renters, boy, as soon as they heard they didn't have to pay their rent for 90 days, they stopped paying rent immediately, like a lot of them. A lot of them stopped paying. I have one friend who owns over 500 rental houses, okay? He said it was a big problem. What saved him was, so far, is that there was government programs to subsidize people that were hurt by COVID or that lost their jobs, and they would pay up to 6 months worth of someone's rent. Once my rental friend figured that out, he started calling all of his tenants, telling them to come in, helping them fill out the forms, and he collected 6 months in advance from all his renters, all the ones that would come in, which was most of them. So, except for those government programs, it would have been a very bad deal. I kind of like my situation better. People were in houses, they had agreed to pay, 8 out of 300 called and inquired, and then all of them paid because it was their home and they valued their home and the financial commitment they had in it and the emotional investment that they had in it. So I preferred the seller financing method even during COVID. Just like I prefer the seller financing method in the recession over landlording, I also prefer the seller financing method in COVID. If you like this kind of stuff, please hit subscribe. do me a personal favor and hit like. And if you want a free copy of my book, My Life in 1,000 Houses, Failing Forward to Financial Freedom, please just go to 1000houses.com, click on the free stuff tab, and there you'll see an offer for a free copy of this book. All they ask is that you pay $7 for shipping and handling, and we'll get you a copy of that book. And because you're ordering direct like that, I'll have a chance to autograph it for you if that's important to you. All the books that come out of there will be autographed. So I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video.